how to really sell the total value of solar and not rely on price. In most of today's solar markets, the biggest challenge for sales reps is actually making the numbers make sense to the homeowner while selling a higher monthly payment than their current average monthly utility bill. In this video, I'm going to cover best practices for making sure your homeowners really get the total value behind what you guys are actually offering. And if you're new to my channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Rich McCoy. I am the CEO of Revis Energy, a solar sales and training organization where I've been able to help hundreds of sales professionals close more deals faster and easier by leveraging psychology and human behavior with my courses and sales coaching. And then Revis Marketing, where we help other solar organizations get in front of more customers by supplying you guys with booked, qualified appointments so you can spend less time knocking doors and more time in front of customers who actually want pricing for solar on their home. First part about being able to sell on value really starts at the time of the set, and that's with the expectations. So what are your expectations that your appointment setter is setting for your appointments? Because guys, listen, if a close is just an extension of what was said at the time of the set, then you have to make sure that you're actually being set up for success. What happens that I see a lot right now is most homeowners actually start to feel like there's been a little bit of a bait and switch, meaning the guy or girl on the door on the phone told them that, hey, the reason that everybody's going solar in your area right now is because there's much cheaper rates and it's a much cheaper bill than what you're paying per month right now, right? So we know that that's not going to be the case everywhere. So to really set the proper expectations, the focus should be not on setting appointments, but setting appointments for enrollment. In your mind, you need to be thinking you're setting them up for a time to enroll and to sign docs. If you told them at the time of setting the appointment to actually expect to pay 25 or 45 bucks more per month than the average, and you got them to agree to that sit, that's actually much better than what they're currently stuck doing based on inflation, and they're still able to protect themselves from future rate increases. And that's how they should be thinking that if I qualify and my home is a good fit, it's a no-brainer that has a bill that doesn't change, has no inflation, and it's actually adding equity into the home, then eventually goes completely away. Again, if they process that at the time of the set and they said yes, then they basically already are bought in. So now, once the appointment happens, all they're really thinking is that, hey, if earlier everything that I was told, if that's legit and I feel good about the person, then I'm just gonna see what I need to do to get it. That's what happens when they have the proper expectations. So if you set the expectation that it could actually be 50 bucks higher than your average and they still set and agree to that meeting, then it's actually only 20 bucks higher than the average, then you look like a hero. It's actually also important that people understand that it's not an equal comparison of dollars. And that brings me to point number 2, and that's that the money isn't equal. What that means is if their current average is about 250 bucks per month and their solar payment is 275 bucks per month, at first glance, most people would assume that solar is just more expensive, right? Well, here's one very simple example on how you guys can get a homeowner to understand that choosing a higher solar payment per month is actually better for them and, believe it or not, cheaper for them overall. So assuming they can get a great offset, whatever the highest summer bills were last year, they need to understand that they will no longer have to worry about these crazy summer bills. So Mr. Homeowner, your average bill last year was 250 bucks through all seasons, through all months. But earlier, you and I noticed that throughout the summer months, that basically almost doubled consistently from June to September. Knowing that utility prices have gone up 16% nationwide over the last couple of years and continue to do so, the $275 solar bill that's $25 more per month not only actually protects you from the $500 summer bills that you're seeing now, but the $600 to $700 solar bills that are on the way. So the reason that most people are making the switch again is because they understand that adding $25 per month on a solar payment is actually saving them from being charged anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per month during these peak rate months, while also immediately adding equity into the home and doing so all without any upfront costs. And then lastly, point number 3, guys, the grid. We don't need to use scare tactics with information but the grid, but honestly, it's legit scary enough. In our country, we basically have 3 utility grids. We have East Coast, West Coast, and in Texas. So in Texas, for example, we have a utility providers who actually just broker power from the actual source straight to the homes. So they have their fees attached to everything, all while 60% or 70% of the total cost of our power bill just pass through charges of poles and wires to get it into the home. That's like ordering something on Amazon that costs 40 bucks, but the shipping cost is $65. Mr. Homeowner, you wouldn't continue to pay for something like that, would you? So if you look outside right now at that transformer and those clunky outdated power lines, those are connected to a 130-year-old outdated infrastructure. And believe it or not, our government knows that it needs to be replaced. We just can't do so right now because it would cost trillions of dollars to do that. And do you know what happens when there's too much pressure on a 130-year-old electric infrastructure? It breaks. We've seen this happen in California with unplanned blackouts that lasted for days. We saw this in the winter in Texas, and even last summer. People actually lost their lives because we had elders in situations where they were without power and freezing temperatures for days, left isolated where no one could get to them. And then again in the summer when people were without power and and having no air conditioning with over 100-degree temperatures. We get our power from public companies on the stock market who need to provide a return to their shareholders. But utility companies don't offer products. So when things like inflation happen, Mr. Homeowner, how do you think the utility company plans to make more money, stay profitable, and then again have that return for their shareholders? In a situation, they'll likely respond with something like, keep charging us. Exactly. And right now we're all renting our power, and the majority of the cost is essentially shipping fees and taxes. And the data has showed us it's recently increased 16% and is on pace to continue to do so. Now the issue is, Mr. Homeowner, everybody's actually won't be able to go solar or even get the amount of panels they need. Eventually, each neighborhood and area will reach a cap on how much solar it can have. Although the government supports it and is actually helping funds most Americans make the switch to solar, the utility structure, it still has its limits. What I mean by that is, if everyone in this neighborhood goes solar, they all generate more than enough power and they start sending that excess power back to the grid. That old transformer outside isn't built to withstand that amount of power or handle any more additional stresses than it's used to. So eventually you'll see utility companies denying that, right? You'll see more people being unable to get the amount of panels they need to completely cover their usage. In my prediction, what you'll see in the next 5 years is people spending an absolute premium just to be able to get something like 6 or 7 panels on the roof to offset the insane inflation and increased rates that we're going to see. Now guys, with information like this and questions like these, you're actually able to walk the homeowner to a data-backed place of understanding while maintaining emotional justification for moving forward with urgency today. So don't be so quick to drop that PPW. Let's really learn how to sell great value and logic behind making the switch to solar. Now I know for most of you guys, beating the bill days are over, so you don't really have a choice, but you just can't quick pitch a cheaper bill at every door. There's men and women still selling very high PPWs with great system sizes and offset for homeowners, but it's because they have an elite pitch to set appointments. They have an elite deck that they're trained on how to sell the value and urgency to homeowners. So if you guys are tired of losing deals because you simply lack the proper information and training, then reach out to us, man. We have both courses and coaching opportunities to help you be fully equipped and stop leaving appointments without a deal. And if you're a broker or sales organization owner looking for some additional training, but also realize you can get much better pricing on your deals, then reach out to us as well. Our new sub-dealer program might be a good fit for you, man. We actually have baselines as low as $156, and we not only help you with just great pricing, but with sales and leadership training as well, so that you can recruit more reps and scale your organization faster. Let me know in the comments what was most helpful part of this video for you guys today, and then as I make more content and do more research, let me know what you guys want to see next. That's it for today. Until next time.